Hello, it's the director for Sghetti Boys 2 here to do another commentary. This is the last commentary I'll be able to do until Vape Show comes out, which I'm very excited about. And I'm very excited to keep working on that. I still have to write the whole thing, but yeah, anyway, without further ado, this is Sghetti Boys 2, and let's start now. It's a good opening shot. So yeah, this was the first scene we filmed together. I'm happy with how a lot of it looks. One thing I got a lot better at recently, and just through filming a lot, was just keeping everything in focus finally. Huge improvement over my other videos. For some reason, the audio in the kitchen just sounded awful. This particular day, it didn't sound horrible in Theater Kid Date, so I was surprised to hear this in Sghetti Boys 2. This scene was heavily inspired by, I'm sorry, I gotta turn this down. This scene was heavily inspired by, No Country for Old Men. When I conceived Sghetti Boys 2, I said, like, the first scene I want is, just a guy telling another guy his dream.
The son of a bitch that ruined me.
Also heavily inspired by David Lynch as well. You can kind of see it through the shakiness and
the sweatshirt,
the colors.
And then he handed me a can of spaghetti.
This scene was much different in the script, but Cash just wasn't there when we filmed, so I had to make something up quickly. Also, some of the we rarely used a tripod to film this, so one of the very few scenes filmed mainly just using that tripod.
You just can't be into
overall, a lot of these shots turned out pretty good. Some of the grading is off, of course, because I still...
You just can't, okay?
Yeah, well, the main reason the grading is off is because I left auto white balance on. You can really see that as the scene goes on and how lighter it gets. I tried to grade it properly to, like,
go make us something to eat.
To fix that, but just did not. It is just kind of irreparable, and I didn't feel like reshooting it.
Yeah, I suppose.
Yes.
His performance is good, honestly. Both of them. One of my rats squeaked. But yeah, not too much to add. Yeah, you can see the auto white balance just really sinking in through there. I'm pretty happy with the focus control right there. That was not bad. That scene took a while to get. I just had him hold that spaghetti can for like 5 minutes while I figured out the focus. This is also great. We just sat in the bathroom and then I got like 5 seconds of footage of him just smiling creepily with a blue light on him. That was very cool. The opening credits. I don't know what compelled me to make opening credits like this. I said, what if we get a scene of your characters kind of just playing with dog shit, and it kind of just spun off from there. And, yeah, the credits go back to being very indulgent again. I'm kind of just joking around and having fun. Charlie Mac, those are just the name of my rats. Benjamin Penis, that's just because I think that name is funny. Jesus Christ, yeah. Well, we were filming that scene. I actually met my neighbor for the first time, and he said that he's interested in doing a music video for me. With me. And I was like, hell yeah, I'd love to do it, so I'm gonna see if he ever hits me up about that ever again, but it was pretty funny to run into him while filming. Yeah. One of my favorite parts about this is that you can tell that we shot this, like, as soon as it turns spring and not all the leaves are on the trees. It just kind of looks, like, icky and gross. Then over the course of the film, because it took forever, you can see that it just gets more green and, like, spring and summer are starting to kick in. Yeah, that was a lot of fun to witness while filming this. This shouldn't have taken 3 months. I'm shocked that it did. But scheduling was pretty hard, and hell yeah, no generative AI. That's what I'm talking about. Very happy with that credit.
Yo, you heard from Cash?
This was also a ton of fun to
No, I
film.
think
They were
he's
very
fucking
easy to
working
work
somewhere
with,
else. He
Connor
hasn't been
Evan.
fucking answering my calls.
I just said, I had a whole script written for them in like lines, but I
Did
said,
you know that he has a retarded
just say it
brother?
the way you
Yeah,
guys
I
want to
think I
say
heard
it.
that his
And
name was Luge.
they got some really good comedy out of that.
If I had to hold
They
his
play
hand
really good
everywhere,
stoners.
I
I'm just glad that we got them
don't think I
again. I'm still sad about
So
Bridget.
what was that? What you were saying
But,
about that
um,
Mexican lawnmower porn?
They do a great job. They have a lot of great
Get the name
chemistry.
of it.
This was also just filmed on a whim. We were like figuring out what to do for that day, and I was like, well, since we have you here, let's do a quick construction scene. Since we never explain what your job is, I think it'd be fun to do a comedic scene. That guy is just some random construction worker that just so happened to be in the shot. I didn't even see him when I shot that at first. It was only when I like zoomed in on the camera. I was like, oh, there he is. Okay, we could use this. This is just audio from the first Sghetti Boys, and I added a reverb to it. I don't remember when we shot this, but you can tell Cassius is really sick of eating that spaghetti. I'm glad we got that done, because that wasn't in the script originally. I didn't have like nearly as many spaghetti eating scenes in the script, which I thought was kind of crazy, retrospectively. This is the second day of filming, I believe. And we didn't get, great audio for this scene.
Did you eat today?
Because it was just the audio was just mounted on the camera, and it was shaking around too much.
This is getting annoying.
What he's watching right now is, The Dirties. Because I decided one of the recurring jokes is that he just watches like art house independent films.
That's a shame.
I thought that'd be really funny.
Yeah.
Nobody else gets it, but it's the fun
Is that
little
why you're
detail
out
that
here?
film nerds can geek
Yeah.
out about.
Huh. Hey, Luce. Wanna go to the store?
Yeah.
A lot of scenes of people just walking. I don't know, but I feel compelled to film people walking, I guess. I don't know. Stupid people shutting doors.
Piece of shit.
Yeah, the previous scene, Luce had the script in his hands. I thought that was funny.
Wait, what?
I don't remember where I got this idea from, but I wanted to make a scene that shows that Cassius is kind of just unhinged. But he's unhinged in a way where, like, he wants to protect the people he loves, you know?
Her name's Bertha.
Probably doesn't make a ton of sense retrospectively, but
Well, did Bertha give you an
it just
address?
shows you that he's a psychopath and he's like kind of losing grip on reality. That whole scene. Well, the scene coming up mainly. I don't know. The main reason I filmed this is because I thought the tubes looked cool. So I was like, alright, let's get a little dream sequence with these. And it paid off because it looks pretty good. This scene was, I think we filmed this near Evan's place, of course. I'm not gonna give away any locations, but yeah. Audio, really shaky again. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like there was more dialogue added to this. Originally, it's explained like, oh, Bertha was a 52-year-old man, Luce. But I don't know what happened. I think we just decided to cut
How many
that last
times have I
second.
told you not to talk to people without my direct supervision, Luce?
Looking back on it, it probably works if it's more ambiguous.
There are 5 sex offenders.
Even though that really
Luce.
confused
And I promised Grandma
Truth
that nothing
Seeker.
bad would happen to you. So you don't
he was a
go
guy in the
without my
comments
permission
that
again.
was very
Otherwise, I'm
confused
gonna have
about
to
the
send
plot
you
of this,
back
and I
to
thought that
Grandma's.
was really
And you
funny.
don't want that, do you, Luce?
He gave this a 0.5 out of 10,
Okay.
which
Now
is
tonight you won't be
a
getting
lower
super tape
score
tonight
than
for
I
your
gave
behavior.
Megan is Missing.
Just to teach you a lesson tonight.
Yeah, I like, I think the way this looks turned out pretty good. I might just learn how to color grade properly next time. I think that might help a lot. But yeah. That scene, I can't remember. I think that was like, we filmed that a couple weeks after we filmed the Walmart car scene. I don't remember what happened or why, but yeah. I know we definitely filmed it before the road got all torn up, which I decided to film a little bit of. And this was just filmed out in the woods. I'm pretty happy that we got a little location. That was Cash just coming in clutch for the last couple hours of shooting. He said, he's like, yeah, I know exactly where to shoot. And then you had this location. And yeah, all the footage turned out pretty solid, I think. For some reason, the G85, it's kind of hard to tell what you're filming sometimes because it's a bit dark, but yeah. This laptop in general, I don't know, like, whenever I'm watching this on anything else, it's a lot darker than it is when I'm doing it on here. So, I'm very, I have to be very cautious about the way I color things next time. The audio that I got from this is from, when I went on vacation a year previously, and I just recorded some outside audio at the, place we were staying at the cabin. And there's a boat driving by, and then there are people playing horseshoes, so that's what the banging is, and then that's what the humming is, just it's that boat driving by. And I slowed down this audio a ton, and I think it works really well atmospherically. This was originally supposed to have a wide shot where Cassius is looking around, but the shot was so insanely out of focus that I decided that, like, yeah, we need to cut it. Which is a shame, because it was a good shot, but severely out of focus. I think the spaghetti eating bit was Cassius's idea. It turned out pretty good. This sequence, like just the looking out at the lake, heavily inspired by like Tarkovsky, honestly. Mainly this shot, it's like directly from Yvonne's childhood, if that's how you pronounce it. But yeah, that whole thing turned out pretty good. It probably runs a bit long and it probably loses most people, but I'm pretty proud of it for the most part. We were originally going to have a ton of dialogue over it, but we decided not to.
Damn it.
Well, I decided not to because just due to time.
Today. And lunch. I've got work.
I think this day I had Carmen hold the microphone. She's my girlfriend. Right now, Lewis is watching Dancer in the Dark. I had just watched that movie a couple days previously, and it devastated me, and I was like, it'd be really funny if he was watching it and eating shit. What that stuff what it was yogurt,
Do you remember when Cassius
banana,
got his fucking
and
penis
sriracha
stuck in a
sauce,
can
and I
of
said, alright, let's put that, we
I
filmed the whole
love
thing, but
massacre through Scandinavia right now.
it was just taking up too
Fuck
much
yeah.
time, and I didn't want to go
Hey,
much
you know
past
Cassius
25
still
minutes.
drives past that one Sghetti guy's house?
Yeah, I heard he was still pretty fucking.
I'm pretty happy with how a lot of this turned out.
You know, You should really
I had a
just
feeling,
move
I'm
on.
like, yeah, I can't just have it, because originally it was just one big static shot
Tell
of
me
them
you
talking,
don't. That raw,
but
cold hard
thankfully I
steel
had the
in your
idea
hand.
to like film extra stuff while I was there, and it fit shockingly well. Ooh, here's Gavin's music that he debuted with. This song is a bit simple, of course. It was kind of just him playing around. I sped it up too. Originally it was much slower, and for some reason it didn't sound as good to me, so I decided speeding it up would be the right option. Yeah, there's leaves on the trees now. I like to think that there's just a huge time jump, honestly. But, you know, I never... This was like also like during the first couple weeks of just shooting this
Listen,
video,
Luce,
this whole scene.
I've got some business.
I'm pretty
to attend
happy
to
with
this
how it
month.
turned out. There's one line
You might have to live with Grandma
that
at some
Cassius
point.
delivers, and it's so fucking good.
Why?
That's none of your concern.
Bam, there it is. I quote that a lot.
I don't
It's so
want
funny.
to.
He's like so sincere while
I-
saying it too.
I can't go to church on Sundays.
The church on Sundays was my idea. This was Noah's idea. He had a Taco
wanna
Bell
watch
cup next to him, and he was like,
movies.
"What if I did this?" And I was like, "Yeah, that works." But then it went on for too long, so I cut it down severely again.
There will be
I feel
no
kind of
value
bad
to
for
lose.
Noah. Like half of his stuff just got cut, and then I just kept adding more Cassius's stuff. Poor bastard. I'm surprised he doesn't hate me, honestly. I put him through hell with these videos, pouring blood on him, dipping him in water, making him eat just garbage. I don't know why he sticks around, honestly. This scene was a ton of fun to film.
You understand that, right?
I think Carmen was just with us that day. I think she's holding the mic. Audio turned out really solid. Originally, he hit his head on the toilet, but the audio equipment, not the audio, the lighting equipment was in frame. So I was like, alright, well, we can't keep that, which sucked. This is just Gavin's original song again, and I slowed it down a ton. just because of the way that the piano notes played at the end. Not a great first song, but solid for the tone. Hell yeah, dude. This is the funniest scene of the whole film for me. It was a ton of fun to film. There was one part where originally the gun dealer was supposed to be played by this dude at Walmart named Jeremy. He's a good friend of mine.
Anyway,
Brandon does great, by the way. I'm really glad we got Brandon, but he was supposed to be played by Jeremy. There was a scheduling issue, and then Cassius just lost his shit. He was like, "You motherfuckers! You can't schedule for shit! I'm gonna fucking kill you!" And then he like took off his shirt and then just like held the shotgun up to me. But then I was like, "All right, Cassius, we need to start filming, dude." And he's like, "All right." This was filmed, this was like the last couple days of filming that we got the audio for that. I'm really glad that we got that binoculars shot, because that was a last minute idea.
Beaut, ain't it?
The shotgun is real. The rest of the guns are airsoft.
Man, my penis.
But that shotgun is a real ass shotgun, and I had him pointing it right at me after he'd just crashed out on us. I hope he's listening to this, because I would love to talk with him about it. But yeah, like, he held the shotgun like up to Noah at some point and just screaming. And there's like veins popping from his face. And I was like, dude, we need a film, bro. You can't be doing this right now. It was great. That line is dubbed. A lot of the audio in this actually turned out horrible. This whole scene, because I didn't have my longer XLR cord. So there was just a really bad audio setup overall. And I had Noah holding it, and it just wasn't good. So yeah. Brandon did so good in this scene. Like, the way he remembered his lines was crazy. Like, we barely rehearsed, and like he kind of just got it like almost first take, I believe. Really impressive. I can't wait to keep working with him. Come on. Cassius is played by me in this scene. Because he said that the only time he'd be able to come in to do this audio was on Monday or Tuesday, but I was planning on getting it out by Saturday. By the way, he's watching Belle de Jour. But I was planning on getting it out on Friday or Saturday, and I was like, you know what, I'll just do it. The audio for this scene is built from the ground up, by the way, and I'm pretty happy with how it turned out overall.
Listen, Luke,
it's kind of just like funny to look back on, and I'm sure the audience is like, why does he sound so different?
And you can't be here today, so is there...
It's really good, honestly. I did the lip syncing really well, I think. Cassius's facial expressions are great in this scene.
Why'd you have a
What I enjoy about Cassius in these videos is that he's just kind of playing like the version of him that me and him would always riff on in elementary school. I hope that one day we can do an adaptation of Jeremiah's Farm. I think that'd be great.
I'm gonna fucking kill you. Now get in the trunk.
Oh man, that's the script right there. I don't know why I put that in there, but it was kind of compelling to me, I guess. And yeah, this was like also like during like mid-production, so nothing is really that green. It's kind of funny how it fluctuates looking back on it. There's just no green anywhere. This scene, the audio was completely messed up. I also had to build it from the ground up in terms of like putting in those like doors and doors shutting, and I did a pretty good job. The footsteps were added in too. Here's original audio from there because it was actually usable. But everything after this is completely dubbed and just post-production audio, and it turned out pretty good, I think. I was pretty proud of it. It was, I had to do some work, a lot of work to do this, and I'm pretty proud of it.
And at some point I'll come back to get you.
I should have added some wind sound effects. I kind of regret that
just asked me to eat spaghetti with you.
This was unbelievably hard to film. Noah was just struggling with like matching the lips up, so eventually I think we just got what looked close enough and called it a day. For some reason with this film, if there's like something that's reflective, there's a 100% chance that you'll see me in the reflection. I did a terrible job with that. But yeah, I like a lot of the shots I got. I think that I got some decent stuff. The editing could also be a lot worse too. I'm pretty happy with how this is edited. Aside from coloring and audio, that's like my main weak point apparently. This scene was a huge struggle to film because I was just trying to get it done I got my girlfriend in on it, and we lost the script for like a whole couple days, so we were just going based off of memory, and then the lighting also changes a shit ton because I couldn't quite tell what to put the ISO on. Because when Cassius crashed out, I didn't tell you this, but he destroyed my camera monitor cable, and we had to get a new one. And and I couldn't tell what I was shooting half of the time during this scene, so I had to like just kind of take guesses, and yeah, they're just major shifts in the lighting and the way it was colored, and I was kind of disappointed with how this whole scene turned out overall, which sucks because it has my
Can I
girlfriend
help you?
Carmen in it, and I was really
Is
happy
that
to have her in
Daniel
it.
here?
And her performance is good too.
That guy? I haven't
She
seen
kind of
him
just remembered her
once.
lines
Yeah,
immediately,
I
which
think
I
he
was very
States,
impressed
maybe?
with.
Oh, he was a fucking loser. He was always stealing my cancer.
She's so pretty, but
And, like, in
anyway.
the middle of the night, he'd just be laughing, like at nothing.
This was
like,
great.
just
I was like on the ground for this shot, and I think it turned out pretty good.
Yeah. Good luck with finding him.
In the original script, is a dude who answered the door, but I decided that I needed to be more woke, so I added a girl last minute. Also because she let me use the house for the exterior, and I was very grateful for that. I love you, Carmen. Yeah, so Cassius had cut his hair midway through production, and that's why in half of the scenes you can kind of, he's like in a hood because he just cut his hair, and I was like, alright, I'm kind of sick of having you in a hood, so let's make it so like there's a scene where you cut your hair. This whole scene was added on, by the way, like this wasn't scripted. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with how this turned out too. It's kind of funny.
And that is how the wild goose.
This was his idea, the wild goose goes. I don't know what it means, but it kind of just builds off of the end.
Yo, he texted me just now.
Oh, what's that say?
Originally, in the script, it said everything is alright, but I didn't feel like putting that in, because it sounded too corny for this, even. For this, we just went out to a random dirt road that we had found. It was really scenic, and the hill looked really nice, so I was like, alright, let's film here. And I'm really happy with how these shots turned out. I actually like figured out how to use like focus and depth properly during the last couple hours of shooting this, apparently. But yeah, the coloring wise, it looks good. I'm pretty happy. I'm just overall happy with how this scene turned out, and Gavin's song added a lot to it. The song turned out really good too, I thought. Yeah, in the original script, I had just written, like, for the whole ending scene, I had just written, like, this is like the main scene that I wanted to get, was just Luce looking down the road and a car coming. But I had also, at the end, for some reason, I was really tired and I just wrote blowjob, suicide, mass murder, etc., something like that. And I was like, let's see how we can film that. So we got a bunch of extra footage while shooting other scenes that kind of fit into the criteria of those dumb things that I wrote. And this was also not in the original script, with the spaghetti eating, but I figured that it needed way more, and Noah and Cassius were not cooperating when it came to laughing, so I figured I'll just use the worst laughs ever. And I'm gonna yell at them as soon as I see them again about it. The way Cassius eats spaghetti is so good, too. This was great to film. I'm very happy with how that turned out. Also, there's a Trump flag in the back. Fuck Trump, that's all I'm gonna say. Yeah, most of the extra footage I got just seems to be from Evan's house, which I find pretty funny. I was very happy with how all those scenes turned out. I think during the end of production, I kind of realized that instead of like this being like a comedy, like the comedy that I wanted it to be, like, you know, the surrealist comedy that I wanted it to be, it kind of works more as just a film about people making films and like just no budget cinema. So that's kind of where a lot of these ideas came from. It's kind of just a celebration of like local filmmaking and just getting everybody together to make art, you know. And yeah, this is the biggest crew I've ever worked with. Very grateful for everyone who worked on this for no money. This scene is apparently canon since I didn't shoot it with a different shutter speed. Yeah, the suicide, I don't know where that idea came from, but I thought it'd be funny if Cassius was walking down the road and he had a gun up to his temple. I don't know why. And looking back on it, you could probably interpret something from it if you're overreaching, but the intent is just funny, you know? But yeah, there's one shot The deer, yeah, this is from Carmen's place. I thought they looked really good in the shot. Very happy with that final shot. I think it kind of really emphasizes what Sghetti Boys is really all about, and yeah, nothing is taking itself too seriously. Not a great video, but I would probably feel comfortable giving it a 6 out of 10, probably. Very happy with all the work everyone did. We all worked really hard on it. And yeah, it was a blast overall. Yeah, 6 out of 10. Yeah, the end credits is really not as indulgent as the opening credits, which I think is funny, but yeah, I'll see you all later. I had a lot of fun recording this commentary. I'll be back when Vape Show gets released. I think when that comes out, I'll just combine those 5 episodes into a final cut, like a movie cut, and then just do the commentary on that. And yeah, it'll be like an hour long, I think. So yeah, thank you all for watching. Peace.